Hello and welcome back to Skye Thinking. We have reached the last day, and I don't know why at some point in the game I thought we were staying for 10 days. I must have gotten that mixed up. But yeah, day 7, our last day. This might actually be a short episode, so I'm sorry if it is, but yeah, let's see how it all wraps up. I wake up earlier than usual the following morning. The sun hasn't risen yet, and it's still dark in my small, cramped bedroom. Not that it's really mine, of course. I don't think I'll ever warm to this place, and I'm sticking to that. The wardrobe looms in the darkness like a frightening storybook villain. It looks almost menacing, given it takes up so much space. My bedside table, though smaller and less threatening, is wreathed in similar darkness. I sit up in bed and reach for my phone. I unlock it, then wince, holding it away from my face as its brightness assaults my weary eyes. Weary eyes. It's a little after 6. It's pretty early, even for me. I toy with the idea of sliding back beneath my covers and going back to sleep. But my head is full of thoughts of Piper, and I can't. This is my last day in Skye. I want to savor it. Soon the sun will rise. I'd like to be awake, fully dressed and made up to meet it. I slide out of bed and make my way to the window. My bare feet pat against the wooden floorboards. I haven't forgotten the incident with the slugs in the kitchen. How could I? But I move without fear. My dad was right. They're only slugs. They're probably more afraid of me than I am of them. Yeah, that kind of explanation doesn't really work if you're really scared, speaking as someone who's scared of spiders. But okay, good for you. Why did I kick up such a fuss about it? It all seems so silly now. I open the curtains, then glance out across the street. The village of Ardvassar and the single road that runs through it is dark. The sun will rise, though, in 10 or 15 minutes. I can hear birds cawing outside the window, and I can just about see them perched on the branches of the nearby trees. There's a bit of wind, but there aren't any cars. If it weren't for the birds, eager to meet the morning, it would be quiet as death out there. The silence unnerved me when I first came to Skye. It felt like there was something hiding just out of earshot, outside the windows maybe, listening to the sound of my breathing. Now, the silence is soothing. Ardvassar is a small village, but it's hemmed in on all sides by the countryside. I'm sure the sprawling fields and the tall mist-capped hills will keep me safe. Maybe they were watching over me as I dreamt, like kindly grandparents. I used to think this island was desolate, but I don't believe that anymore. Not after meeting Piper. If only Dad could hear me now. I'm sure he'd say, "I told you so." That's an aggravating thought. I'd rather not give him the satisfaction. I close the curtains, then step towards the wardrobe. I should start packing all my dresses and blouses away. But first, I need to pick out an outfit for the upcoming day. This is the last day I'll see Piper, so I want to look my best. I need to choose something that accentuates all my best features. I want to leave Piper with the best possible impression of me I can muster, so she'll never forget me. I don't want her to think that kissing me was a mistake. Piper said I looked like a princess in my ruffled Lolita dresses. Does that make her my prince? Ugh. That's so corny. I wince, disgusted at my own sentimentality. But I'm still thinking about the time I spent with Piper, and I find myself smiling regardless. I wonder what she's doing right now. Is she thinking of me? Probably not. I bet she's still lying in her own bed, fast asleep. She'll be wearing her pajamas, just like I'm wearing mine, but I doubt her nightwear of choice will be an antiquated old gown with a ruffled collar. I've never seen Piper in her pajamas, but she seems like the sort who'd wear something plain and boyish, an oversized t-shirt maybe, and a pair of sweatpants. Her hair will be loose, and her ginger curls will spill all over her face. Maybe she'll snore or talk in her sleep. But I'm sure she'll look cute regardless. Jeez. I press a hand to my face. My cheeks feel as pink as my nightgown. It must be a mark of how much I like Piper that I think her snoring could possibly be classified as cute. I wonder what Piper's bedroom looks like. I'm a bit sad I never got a chance to see it. She always came to visit me instead, most likely to get away from her mother. How big is her room? What colors are the walls? Does she leave her clothes lying all over the floor? Maybe she has trophies on the shelves from netball tournaments and medals from sports days long past hanging from the doors of her wardrobe. I'd like to know more about Piper. I want to keep talking to her and hanging out with her. But I've run out of time. Well, there's always phones, and these days they also have cameras, so she could show you her bedroom, but okay. It's not the same as being in person, I get that. The ferry from Armadale will depart at midday. I hope Piper comes to see me before then. We only have a few hours left together. Then it'll be goodbye. It's sad. My heart feels heavy. I have so many feelings I want to express. I can't help but waver between all my dresses and blouses. Nothing feels quite right. I want today to be perfect. But even if it isn't, that's all right. This is goodbye, but it's not goodbye forever. I'll keep in contact with Piper. We can still talk, and if our feelings are strong enough, I'm sure we'll see each other again. Dad hadn't seen Ian for over a decade, but they're still firm friends despite that. That's kind of comforting, really, when I think about it like that. There's no sense in being pessimistic. My relationship with Piper has only just begun. And there you go, some positivity in here. Okay, let us look at that. Interesting design. Ellie. Dad greets me cheerfully when I enter the kitchen, the stench of frying bacon and baked beans thick in the air. You're looking good this morning. Are you trying to imply that I don't look good every morning? Oh no, perish the thought. You always look nice, sweetie, but you look even nicer today. Did you do something to your hair? Not really. It's the same style as always. My hair is combed into 2 buns as per usual, and my makeup is natural and somewhat understated, minus the false lashes. It's true that I expended more effort on my appearance than I did yesterday, though. I took great pains when brushing and pinning my hair so as not to let any loose strands escape. I was similarly strict with my makeup. I redid my eyeliner about 3 times, and I used slightly more lip gloss than per usual. I wanted my lips to look captivating. Though the precise reasoning behind that is a little embarrassing. If even Dad can see I've tried harder than usual, then Piper must be able to recognize my efforts, or at least I hope she does.
Are you going to take a seat, dear?
Dad gestures to the table. It's all laid out for breakfast, knives and forks carefully arranged, a bottle of brown sauce plonked in the middle where you'd usually expect to find a vase of flowers.
Breakfast's almost ready.
Right, sure. I take a seat at the table, brushing my skirt aside so as not to crease it. Having been a devoted acolyte of this fashion for 4 years, I'm pretty good at maneuvering through life's mundane day-to-day activities without crinkling my clothes. It comes with practice.
How many rashers of bacon do you want, Ellie? 3? 4?
The smell of oil and frying bacon fat makes my stomach churn. I don't feel very hungry. I'd rather forgo breakfast altogether, but I don't want to hurt Dad's feelings. It's the last of our holiday, so I have to play along. Oh, we've come a long way from that pouting princess in the beginning, eh? I'll just have 2, please.
Are you sure? We have a lot more bacon left, and some sausages. We need to use it all up before we leave.
You can have the extra bacon, Dad. I'm not very hungry.
And the sausages?
I'll have 1. You have the rest.
But we've got a long journey ahead of us. I don't want you getting peckish on the way back home.
I'll be fine. Don't worry about me.
I can't help but worry. You are my daughter. If you're so sure, though.
Dad capitulates to my wishes, as he always inevitably does. He plates up my meager breakfast, then hands it to me with a flourish, like a waiter at a fancy restaurant.
Here you are, mademoiselle. Breakfast is served.
Thank you kindly. I bow my head in an exaggerated manner, then accept my food from him. Dad plates up his own breakfast and sits with me at the table. Dad's own plate is piled high with food. 6 rashers of greasy bacon, 3 sausages, 2 fried eggs, and a veritable mountain of beans. My dad's pretty scrawny, but he's awfully good at eating. Sometimes I wonder if he doesn't have hollowed out legs. My own breakfast is more manageable, but I can't work up an appetite for the life of me. I spear individual baked beans on the tines of my fork and push them around the plate, leaving an arabesque pattern of sticky bean juice behind. My stomach's all knotted up. The smell of the bacon doesn't help. I can't stop thinking about Piper. When is she going to come over? Is she going to come over? I thought she would, but it's 9 already. Time's running out. Hey, Dad. I break the torpid food-induced silence, the prongs of my fork squeaking against my plate. When's the ferry from Armadale again?
It's at midday, around 12. We've got a few hours to get everything packed up, and then we'll be on the move. Why do you ask?
Dad smiles sheepishly.
Can't wait to be shot off Skye, can you?
That's not exactly true. I look at the plate. My beans are scattered across it like orange, slimy pieces of confetti. My nose wrinkles. I was wondering, are the Carters going to come over to say goodbye?
I'm sure they will. Ian mentioned something yesterday. Why?
Oh, nothing. I tried to keep my voice light and effervescent, but Dad sees right through me.
This isn't about Piper, is it?
Well, I set my fork down. The little food I was able to eat feels heavy in my stomach, like cement. I don't think I can eat another bite. That's right, I want to see her again. This is all so sudden.
I told you so. I said the time would fly by, didn't I?
Yes, you did. I'm sorry for not believing you. I didn't want to come here, but I did have a lot of fun. I saw a lot of new places and I learned some interesting things. And I made a good friend too. And maybe something more.
That's wonderful. I'm happy for you, Ellie. I just knew you and Piper would get on. It's a bit of a shame you have to say goodbye so soon, but don't fret. I'm sure you'll see her again. Speak of the devil.
I hear a jaunty rapping on the front door. It's loud and unapologetic and reminds me very much of Ian. Could it be?
It looks like the Carters are here to see us off. Do you want to go and get the door?
Right. I get to my feet, my congealing breakfast all but forgotten. In the past, I would have balked at the thought of interacting with Ian Carter, but not even his rumblings can dissuade me. I don't care about Lord Ian. I'd gladly deal with the whole quarrel of Ian Carters. Is quarrel the correct pluralization of Ian Carter? I wonder. If it meant I could spend 5 more minutes with Piper. Okay, we've come a long way here.
Howdy ho, Michael. How have you been this lovely sunny day?
Ian Carter has only been in the house for about a minute, but he's behaving in such an overly familiar way, it's like he never left. The rafters are positively ringing with the sound of his loud, booming voice. Not for the first time, I have to wonder whether this man comes with a mute button. How in the world do Hilda and Piper put up with him? I'm surprised they haven't gone deaf already. My own poor ears are already starting to ache. But I can't bring myself to be mad at him. Not properly. Ian's brisk, cheery attitude, though a lot overbearing, reminds me a little too much of Piper to take any offense.
Hello, Ian. I can't complain, though it's a shame I won't be able to make the most of the weather. I'll be spending most of the day in the car. Oh yes, ain't that a bummer. You have my condolences.
Ian lopes forwards, looking as self-possessed as a lion, and slings a large arm around my dad's shoulder. My dad's tall, but he's pretty scrawny alongside it. He can't possibly hope to withstand Ian's bulk, and he staggers. I hope he'll be alright. If Ian puts my dad's back out, it'll make the drive back to London even more difficult. Unless that's Ian's master plan? Does he want my dad to stay in Skye? Maybe Ian and my dad, like Piper and I, have some sort of secret romance going on. But then again, maybe not. I hope not. The idea is even more unpalatable than those beanie pajamas I found buried at the bottom of my wardrobe. I mean, the thought has struck, I'll be honest, but nah. Yes, it really is a shame. The weather's been quite dismal for most of your trip, but the forecast said it'll be nice and sunny today, in the 20s, I think. If only the sun could have graced us a little earlier.
Oh, that's alright. It didn't rain, and that's all that really matters. Plus, I was able to snap a lot of lovely photos. You were fiddling around with that camera of yours a lot, yeah. You'll have to share some of the snaps with us. I was planning on it, don't worry. I think some of them turned out very nicely. Great. It'll be one way to remember this trip.
It will, but I'm sure the photographs would have been better if the sky hadn't been so cloudy and overcast. It feels like such a waste. I almost feel like I should apologize.
Apologize for what? I know you like things to be just so, Mom, but not even you can control the weather.
I know that, dear. Hilda replies tersely, her voice clipped. I was just expressing my regret, that's all. Things could have gone even better. But I hope you enjoyed your trip regardless.
Of course I did. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think Ellie did too. Isn't that right, dear?
Yes, I falter, cowed beneath Hilda's narrow-eyed gaze. She isn't even scowling at me, not like she does with Piper, but I still feel like I'm being judged. Living with her really must be unbearable. I'll bet she scrutinizes Piper's every move. It's no wonder she's so jumpy. I can't say I care for Hilda too much, but I try to be polite. There's no sense in souring things between us, not when this could well be the last time I see her. It was more fun than I thought it would be. You took us to some really nice locations. Though I had more fun skipping stones with her daughter in the dark by that old boat than kissing her. I can't exactly tell Hilda that, though. I don't think she'd appreciate it. Thank you for showing us around. It's appreciated. Well, at least somebody understands all of the effort I go to. Hilda shoots Piper a look. Hey, what did I do now? Piper asks, pouting, then says, Thank you, Alice dear. I'm very glad that you enjoyed yourself, and Michael too, of course. That was the whole idea behind this trip. Now, what time do you need to be off?
The ferry leaves at midday, so we have a couple of hours. I still need to give this place a bit of a clean-up, though.
Privately, I don't think Dad needs to bother. The last family who stayed here didn't. I mean, again, if you're renting out a place, you should also be the ones to clean up and not your, tenants, or whatever the word would be here. But also, a quick tidy doesn't hurt to be polite. This place was pretty grubby when we arrived, and I'm not even factoring the old pajamas into the equation, but that's just what Dad's like. He's almost too considerate. I expect Hilda to turn her nose up at the idea of cleaning up. She doesn't look like the sort who likes getting her hands dirty, but she surprises me. If you need a hand, I'd be more than happy to help. You would? Dad looks a bit taken aback by this turn of events himself, because he blinks.
Is that alright?
Of course. I've spent the last 2 decades cleaning up after Ian. He's such a big baby. He was hopeless before he met me. He didn't even know how to load a dishwasher. It was dire. But I was able to whip him into shape soon enough. Oh, that's a funny mental image. I can imagine Hilda with a whip quite easily. More easily than I can with a broom. It suits her.
Isn't that the truth? I've never been all that house proud. My room was a right tip when I was a student. Do you remember, Michael? How could I forget?
That smile takes on a strained, pained edge.
Those toasted cheese sandwiches still give me nightmares.
Ew.
And all of the taters my mom sent me, I left them so long in the kitchen that they
Sprouted feelers. Yes, I'm aware. I mean, that happens. Dad shudders.
Sometimes I wonder how you were able to get any studying done. Your room was a disaster zone. I've no idea how you could concentrate in there. Oh, come off it, Michael. We all know uni's not for studying. It's for partying.
You say that, yet you spent most of your time in the library. Hilda smiles thinly.
You tried to act like you couldn't care less, but you were surprisingly studious. Hilda's right. Didn't you get some of the best grades in your classes? Oh, come of it. You two are flattering me.
Ian chuckles, then shakes his head.
That was then, and this is now. Things have changed. But maybe they've not changed all that much.
Maybe not. I still have to nag you incessantly to do the dishes, and you always forget to take your walking boots off at the front door and tramp mud everywhere. You never listen.
I'm trying to listen, Hild, but if I was the house-proud hubby you'd like me to be, it'd put you out of a job.
Wow. Big red flag there.
What else would you do all day other than clean up after my messes?
I might be able to take on more shifts at the charity shop, or maybe I could make some progress on that book I was writing.
Are you writing a book, Hilda?
I was trying to. It's a bit hard to find the time, though, when Ian and Piper insist on making more work for me. I don't mind helping you, though, Michael. You've always been a gentleman. What needs doing before you leave?
Well, there are some dishes I still need to clean up.
I can manage those. Do you want to sweep the floor?
That sounds like a plan. I suppose I can always help you haul your suitcases into the car if needs be. I don't mind lending a hand.
Please. Hilda sighs. You don't want to lend a hand, you just want to flex your muscles.
Well, if you've got it, you might as well flaunt it.
Whatever you say. Hilda rolls her eyes, then looks between me and Piper. She smiles and then says, "Why don't you two girls go and say your goodbyes? I'm sure you don't want to hang around helping us tidy up, and I imagine there's a lot you want to say to one another. Don't let us keep you." Huh? Piper blinks, bemused. Are you sure you don't mind?
Not one bit. I mean...
Hilda folds her arms beneath her bosom, her smile tightening.
I've seen the state of your bedroom, Missy. It's almost as bad as your dad's university dorm, and that's saying something. I don't think you'd be much help tidying up. In fact, I think you'd only make things worse.
Wow.
Right, so that's what you meant. I should have known.
Piper sighs. She scuffs at the floor with her trainer, but then she catches my gaze and she grins.
Well, never mind. It's not like I want to sweep the floor or scrub toilets anyway. Shall we blow this joint, Ellie?
Piper grins at me, and I smile in return. Her happiness must be contagious, because it's enough to immediately lighten my spirits. I press a hand against my chest. Why is my heart fluttering again? Then say, I think that sounds like a wonderful idea.
Great. After you then, milady.
Piper gestures to the front door, bowing deeply as she does.
I insist.
Okay, at least I get some time.
So, this is it, huh?
I guess so. Piper and I stand on Arthur's shoreline, staring off into the distance. We've never been to the beach quite so early before, and the hills in the distance are, for once, devoid of mist, their grassy peaks illuminated by the golden sunlight. There's a gentle breeze, and it troubles the muddy water by my feet. It prods at the full hem of my skirt and makes my hair flutter. My twin buns, which I took such pains to style neatly, are starting to come unraveled, but I look positively pristine compared to Piper and her messy ponytail. I might have put a lot of effort into my appearance, but Piper looks the same as always, which is to say she could very well have just rolled out of bed. I'm doubtful that she put in even one iota of energy into her looks. But that's fine. I don't mind that. Piper wouldn't be Piper if she wasn't at least a little haphazard. I've grown to like how chaotic she can be. I like all of her.
So, I guess you'll be leaving pretty soon?
Yeah.
Man, that sucks. It's a bummer, but...
Piper beams, her pearly whites on prominent display.
We can still keep in touch. I mean, we have one another's numbers. Technology sure is amazing, huh?
Don't sound so impressed. You're not an old woman.
Sorry. I don't have all that many people to contact, so I never really bothered to use my phone.
What about the internet? Don't you have any online friends?
A few, I guess. I don't know if I'm all that close to them. They've never met me before and they've never been to Skye, so it's hard for them to understand how I feel. It's different with you though, Ellie. You're different.
Well, I would hope that I'm different. I did let you kiss me. I hope you don't want to do that to all your friends.
Of course not. You're special, silly.
Piper laughs and pokes me in the side. I stumble away and step foot into the shallows of the Ardvasar shore. My rocking horseshoes, already dirty from my climb to Dunscape, will be even muddier now. But I guess there are worse things in life.
It is true that I liked Arya once, but I don't now. I'm not so stupid I'd keep pursuing somebody who already rejected me. I don't need her anymore. I don't care about her. Not now I have you. Look.
Piper pushes down the right sleeve of her shirt. She shows off her friendship bracelet, which she has worn for so many years, and says,
I'm through with this old thing.
Piper. I frown. I'm happy that she's prepared to let Arya go, but part of me feels a little guilty. I hope she doesn't feel coerced into this. That's pretty major. Are you sure you're alright doing that?
Yeah, it's fine. This was a long time coming, really. I was stupid to cling to Arya for so long. I haven't spoken to her in months. My mom will be glad when she sees I've gotten rid of it too. She always said it was childish, that I should hurry up and throw it away. I didn't listen to her. I kept clinging to the silly bracelet and to Arya, like it meant something. But I think my mom might have been right about something for once.
Piper exhales, then looks out over the ocean, her expression cloudy.
I loved Arya more than anything. I thought that this was proof that she loved me too.
Piper's fingers curl about the friendship bracelet. She grips it tightly, her brow furrowed.
But it didn't prove anything. We were friends for years, but Arya turned her back on me the moment she realized I liked girls. It was like we'd never been friends at all. I was the only one clinging to the past. She already moved on. Do I want to keep pining after somebody like that? It's useless to cling to the past. It's already over. You're a much, much better friend than she ever was, Ellie. And you're a way better girlfriend than she could ever have been. That's why I don't need this anymore. I'm through with it.
Piper takes off the bracelet and steps forwards. She arcs back her arm, her face burning with determination, and throws the friendship bracelet into the water with all her might. Unlike the loose stones Piper likes playing with, it doesn't skip. Neither does it sink. The bracelet hits the surface of the shallow water with a splash, and then begins to float away. Piper and I watch that bracelet as it drifts further and further away. Now it's nothing more than a speck in the distance. Eventually, it'll be washed all the way out into the ocean. It'll get bashed about by the waves and nibbled on by whole shoals of fish. Will it survive the ordeal? It might wash up on a foreign shore someday, maybe in France or Italy, like a message in a bottle. Maybe it'll disintegrate in the icy waters of the North Sea and disappear. Whatever happens to that bracelet, I guess it doesn't matter all that much. Piper's finally moved on from Arya. She's finally free. I get this is just to be dramatic, but also don't let her in the ocean. Thank you very much. And I'm free to be with her.
Hey, Ellie. I'm really glad I met you. If it wasn't for you, I don't know if I could have let go. The more rotten I felt, the more I wanted to cling to my past. I was sure that I'd never find anybody who'd like me for who I am. But you showed me how wrong I was. I'm still young, and my life isn't over. It's way too soon for me to get bummed out because one girl didn't like me. I can move on from being rejected, and I will. I like you a lot, so I want to stay with you. I'll study hard and I'll get into a university on the mainland. Then we can be together.
I want to be with you too. It might be hard, but I'm sure I can do it. I wear a lot of frilly dresses, but I'm tougher than I look. And pretty much all my clothes are imported from abroad. If I can wait for over a month before I receive any of my fancy dresses, I can wait half a year until I see you again.
Are you sure about that?
Piper looks at me anxiously, suddenly self-conscious.
I don't know if I'm worth it. I'm certainly not as pretty as any of your dresses.
I don't care. I think you're pretty, and that's all that matters.
Really?
Duh. You're my girlfriend, which means you're the prettiest girl there is. I have expensive tastes. My aesthetic sense is unparalleled. Don't even try to question me. You might be glad that you met me. But I'm glad I met you too. I like you so much.
Ellie. Oh, Ellie.
The two of us come together, standing by the shore, with a series of soft sighs. We wind our arms together, inseparable, and Piper presses her mouth against mine. Our kiss is a soft, gentle one by the beach. The ruins of the old fishing boat lie in the background, the wooden planks half rotten and slimy with seaweed. I can smell salt in the air. Overhead, the seabirds call. Artesal's beach, if it can be called that, might not be the most beautiful, but it's still beautiful to me. It was on this beach that I first confessed my feelings for Piper. There's no way I could ever think of this place as being ugly now. Skye might be a dank, desolate, tiny little island, but I think it more than justifies its own existence. The sprawling highlands are filled with purple gorse and heather, the lochs shine like polished glass, and old ruins rich with history nestle in every nook and cranny. It's a small island, but it's full of interesting sights to discover. And interesting people too. I didn't want to come here, but now I almost wish I didn't have to leave. The 7th day, your trip to Skye comes to an end, but... Yep, there it is. I don't know if we might get an epilogue here. But that was a very cute way to end it. Very cute shortish story. I mean, Alice did take a while to come around, but given her character, her background, just being a city girl and not wanting to go to Skye, it kind of fits. And I mean, I like when a story takes a bit of time, like when the development isn't too sudden from the start. Thank you for reading, thank you for making the game. Maybe he may add it again. The Isle of Skye is a Scottish island located in the Inner Hebrides. It's a rocky, hilly island that's covered in wild heather, and it rains there a lot, even during the summer. Skye is not very far away from the mainland, but it's still pretty isolated. Ferry services run to and from the island on a daily basis, but it's almost an hour from Skye to the rest of Scotland, and it doesn't help that the ferry's so expensive either. Skye has no shortage of scrubby fields, crumbling castles and cows, but it has hardly any people. There's only a sprinkling of towns and villages, and the largest settlement, Portree, has a whopping 2,000 residents. Yes, you heard that right, 2,000. There's not much to do in Skye for fun, and the air smells like manure. It's a dank, desolate, tiny little island that hardly justifies its own existence. It's the sort of place that might seem pretty at a glance when searching through images on Google, but the reality of living there is tragic. I thought that Skye was tragic, at least. But after spending a week there, my opinion has shifted. I never thought, in all my 17 years, that I'd like to go to a dreary hall like that on holiday, but I was being a little too hasty. Even dreary halls like Skye have their good points. You just need to know where to look for them. I blink, drawn from my reverie by a buzzing against my thigh. I was looking out over the choppy waters from the back of the ferry. The weather was sunny when Dad and I left, but the sky looks cloudy again, the water dark and murky. But now I glance away. That felt like my phone. Is somebody calling me? I take my phone from my pocket. It's pretty rare that Lolita dresses have pockets. This one is pretty special, and glance at it. It depends. It depends on the cut and the model, and nowadays often at least there's one pocket, but sure. Like the older ones, harsh. I check my most recent messages. Then, softly, I giggle to myself, a sound so quiet it's drowned out by the humming motor of the boat. It's a text, make that several texts, from Piper.
Hey Ellie, I hope your journey back goes alright. Text me when you've gotten back. Oh no, wait, text me as soon as you see this. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again.
Dear Skye Thinking, you can always come back again one day. Yeah, you'll keep in contact. And that was the end of Clear Skye Thinking. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were gonna get an epilogue like far into the future, but it's fine to keep it open like that, and you can just imagine their relationship developing. Yeah, in your own mind. Yeah, that was really nice, like a good runtime, I think, for the story it wanted to tell. Yeah, again, as I said, it's like Alice's development. In the beginning it's a bit frustrating when she's so negative, but she came around eventually. As for Piper and her struggles, yeah, that was sad to see. Because she seemed like such a positive person, but of course it's going to weigh on you if you're not accepted the way you are, and especially in such a place where you can't get away from it. And that's just, sadly, a harsh reality for many people out there. And I really, if that's you, I really feel for you, and I hope you can get away from that, whether that means moving out from your small town or cutting ties with a family that doesn't support you. And I hope you can find people that accept you the way you are, because that's what you deserve. Yeah. So, if you want to reread the story, I will post the link to Steam and Itch in the description down below. Or you might want to check out any of the other visual novels that Ebihime has done. She has a ton, both girls' love and boys' love, so I think there should be something for everybody. But yeah, as always, I would appreciate if you'd share your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.